I'm really excited about this video on notebooks for top-down design. In a previous video, I covered skeletons, and skeletons are used to consolidate any geometry that you want to share amongst multiple components. A notebook, on the other hand, is used for any dimensions or parameters that affect multiple subassemblies or components in your top-level assembly. To create a notebook, you're going to click on the new icon or use the keyboard shortcut of Control-N, and then change the type to notebook, and then enter in your file name. And I'm going to create a notebook for a gearbox. And when I create this, it's going to end up with an extension of .lay, and that's short for layout. Prior to Creo Parametric 2.0, notebooks were known as layouts, but Creo Parametric 2.0 introduced a new kind of model called a layout, and that ends with a .cem extension. That's short for conceptual engineering model. But anyhow, here's my notebook, and again, it'll end with .lay. Let's click OK. And then in the new notebook options dialog box, you could create it empty, and if you choose empty, you can specify the orientation, what kind of sheet size that you want. Some people prefer to use their drawing formats. That way they'll have a title block and a revision block on it. I'm going to use that method. So I will click OK. It asks me which sheet of my format I want to use. I want to know what I want to enter in for the drawn by parameter. And I'm just going to hit enter for some of these other wind chill parameters. So now I have my notebook started, and you can see my drawing format with my title block and my revision block. And I just want to take a look at a few of the tabs. So right now I'm on the layout tab, and in a moment I'm going to use this to import geometry. A layout looks a lot like a drawing, so that's why you have commands for adding sheets or changing the sheet setup. For example, changing the sheet size or the sheet format. Later on, I'll show you how to create a table and also how to create balloon notes. There's an annotate tab. I'll show you how to create dimensions later on. And there is a sketch tab and some other tabs, and I'm just going to mention the tools tab. This is where you get to your parameters and also your relations. So first off, one of the things that people put into a notebook is some sketch geometry, and this is what's called non-parametric or dumb sketch geometry, because later on when I change dimensions on that geometry, the sketch isn't going to update. And so for creating your geometry, you can use the sketching tools. And again, these are like the sketching tools that you have in drawing mode. And I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan of these. So I tend to cheat when I am creating my geometry. A lot of times what I will do is I'll go to an existing drawing and DXF it out and then import that in, or maybe create a rough part model and then make a drawing of that and then DXF the geometry out. And if you create a DXF file, then you can use the import drawing/data command, and it'll bring open a dialog box. Let me go to my working directory, and here I have a DXF file. If you go to the drop-down list, you can see that you can also import IGES files, step geometry, .dwg files from AutoCAD. Whatever you prefer for getting your geometry in, just use that. And I'm going to choose the import button, and we'll just accept the defaults out of the import DXF dialog box. It says, hey, the drawing is smaller than the format, scale to fit format. I'm going to say yes. And so now I have this geometry that I brought in. And I'm going to pause the video for a second. I'm just going to clean this up by deleting some of the different entities, and then I will come back. And now we're back. So I went to the sketch tab, deleted some of the unnecessary entities from the DXF file, and translated it. All right, now that we have our geometry, the next thing that I'm going to put in here are some notes. And so if you go to the annotate tab, there is a note command. And I'm going to locate my notes up here and then just start typing. Let's say see MathCAD worksheet in Windchill for gear calculations. And one thing I like about notebooks is that, again, you can put your notes in here. A lot of times when people leave a company or transfer between teams, you no longer have their notes about how they came up with different ideas or concepts or trade studies or choices. I like to document some of that information using the notes functionality in a notebook. All right, the next thing that we're going to create in here are some dimensions. And so to create a dimension, you'll use the dimension icon and then pick what you want to dimension with your left mouse button. Use the control key there and then position your mouse where you want the dimension to be created and then middle mouse click. And dimensions in a notebook are different than dimensions in a sketch. With a dimension in a sketch, what your sketch is going to drive your geometry, but with a dimension in a notebook, you're going to give it a name and you're going to give it a value. And again, if you change the value of that dimension, the sketch is not going to update. All right, and I like to use really long names, probably longer than normal, but I'm going to call this the primary gear diameter out diameter. And for this one, it's going to have a value of 12. And so there you see the dimension created on the computer screen. I can get out of dimension mode by middle mouse clicking, and then you can drag your dimension as, position your dimension the way that you want it to. Hey, let's go and flip the arrows to the inside. And so there is the first dimension on here. I'm going to go and create a bunch more dimensions rather than have you watch this process over and over again. Let's go ahead and put in a little cut here. And when I come back, you'll see I have a bunch more dimensions on here. And now we're back. All right, when I was creating my dimensions, I want to point out a few different things. One thing I accidentally misspoke and said that you have to hold down the control key. You don't have to hold down the control key when you are creating your dimensions. Also, I created one of my dimensions in the wrong location. One thing to be aware of, if you have a dimension and then you delete it, it actually creates a parameter. So you have to go to the Tools tab and then Parameters, and that dimension that I just deleted, here it is as a parameter. I'm going to click the minus sign to get rid of it. Also, I had another one that I fat fingered and had accidentally created and deleted it. Hey, let's go and delete that. So again, just be aware that when you create a dimension, you're actually creating a parameter, and if you delete the dimension off of your sheet, it still exists as a parameter in the parameters dialog box. So you're going to want to go there and get rid of it. Speaking of parameters, I actually do want to create a couple more parameters that aren't going to be dimensions. So to do that, we're going to create our parameters just like creating parameters normally in Creo Parametric. So let's go, and I'm going to create a couple parameters for my gear ratios. Let's create gear ratio 1, and that's going to have a value of, let's not use dashes, gear ratio underscore 1. There we go, 0.25. Hit the plus sign, and let's create our gear ratio 2. And this is going to have a value of 1/3, and I could enter in 0.333, but if you wanted to have an exact value of 1/3, enter the value in parentheses. And that way it'll be evaluated. And here it shows out to about 6 decimal places, but actually behind the scenes it's going to be carried out to something like 14 decimal places, but it's going to be the actual true value of 1/3. All right, so now I have my parameters. Let's go and create some relations in here. So I'll click on the relations command, and let's write in our comment line. Always start your relations with a comment line. All right, and I also like to use a lot of spaces to make it easily readable. And I can type in the names of the parameters, but let's use the insert selected. And I'm going to write one that says that the reduction gear diameter in is going to be equal to the primary gear diameter out divided by, and this is going to be gear ratio 1. And I'm going to write in another relation. Let's put in a quick cut here because I'm just going to do the same thing as before, but you don't need to see that. And now we are back. All right, so I have entered in my relations. I always like to use the verify button to make sure I didn't make any mistakes. Let's click OK. And I like to go to the review tab. Let's update sheets, update tables. And again, those relations are now driving some of the dimensions, but the sketch geometry is not going to update because it is non-parametric. And if I go to my tools and parameters, you'll notice that a couple of my relations are showing as locked because now they are actually being driven by my parameters instead of being driven by the actual values that were entered to begin with. Okay, so I've got a bunch of different dimensions. I've got a bunch of different parameters in my model. I like to show them using a table. And I'm going to use a smart table for doing that. So let's go to the table drop-down list. And so this table is just going to be a 2x2 table. And in the first cell, I'm going to type in the text parameter. And in this cell over here, let's type in value. And for this first one, let's go to the table tab. I'm going to make this width longer just because I know that I use really long parameter names. Make that value of 30 and reposition my table. And so now what I'm going to do is put in what's called a repeat region. And a repeat region will use what's called Pro Report in order to extract information from my notebook and report it in the drawing table. So we're going to add a simple repeat region. We're going to locate it from the left cell to the right cell. And now when I double click in a cell, I can put in the report symbol lay param name. And then in this cell over here, let's put in lay param value. And let's update tables. And there you see it automatically extracted all the different dimensions and parameters from my model, and it's reporting them here in the table. All right, that looks great. Next up, we're going to create some balloons to annotate our different components. And so for creating a balloon, I'll click on the balloon command. And I'm going to create a balloon with a leader, and I'm going to enter it in manually. And you can also control the orientation. Now I'll click Make Note. And then what we're going to do is we'll pick on the entity where we want the arrowhead to be, and then middle mouse click where I want it. And now for the balloon, it's going to ask you for a name. And so this is going to be the primary gear shaft. I'm going to hit the check mark. And so there I have balloon number 1 on here. And I'm going to create a bunch of different balloons. So again, I'm going to put in a little edit here, and then we'll come back when I'm done making all my different balloons. And we're back. All right, so I created 5 different balloons on here, and what you'll notice in the lower right-hand corner, it's gone and created notes for those names that I entered for the different balloons. And so now this essentially sort of builds a bill of materials for you. I'm just going to go and grab it and drag it up to appear a little higher in here. So there we have our notebook created. And again, what we place in here, some sketch geometry, some dimensions, parameters, relations, tables, and balloons. And so this documents essentially the assembly that we are going to design later on. And the important critical thing about this notebook is that it has these different dimensions and parameters that are going to control multiple components in my assembly. And in a later video, I'm going to show you how to declare components to this notebook and then have those dimensions in the parts be driven by these dimensions in the notebook. I hope you liked this video. For more information, please visit www.creowindchill.com. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and click the subscribe button to be notified when new videos are uploaded. Thank you very much.